Hello everyone, I'm here today with a new process video, and as you can see, I'm not doing pocket pages here. I am working on my books that I read. So I have a TN here, Traveler's Notebook, where I'm documenting the books I'm reading in 2025. So I'm on to my next one. I'm actually 4 behind right now. So I'm going to try to get a couple done all in one day here so I can get myself caught up a little bit. And my first one here is Vincent and Theo, the Van Gogh Brothers. And interestingly, this is probably or will be my only nonfiction of the year. I'm not a huge nonfiction reader, if I'm honest, but this one, it came up as a recommended something on one of my lists. I can't remember. And I'm sure it's because I have a lot of like historical fiction books and just fiction that are written about art and painters, things like that. So I think that's why it came up, but this is actually all true. I listened to this one as an audiobook and I absolutely loved it. It's one of the few books that I've rated at a 4 or above this year. So that tells you something. So if you are a fan of Van Gogh, especially, and you want something other than what you already know about his paintings, like you want more about his life and what it was like for him during the time that he was painting, this might be for you. I haven't grabbed out my bin of book-related things yet. All I have here is just my yellow scraps because I like that Vincent's hat here is yellow. That is seen in some of his self-portraits. He also just is very good at painting the color yellow. Obviously, if you've seen Starry Night, you know I've seen it online and in person. I saw it at MoMA in New York. And I have a print of one of his other paintings, The Night Cafe. The yellow in that is spectacular. And that at our museum here in Minneapolis, Minneapolis Institute of Arts, we have one of the Olive Grove paintings by Van Gogh. Also just spectacular, incredible shades of yellow. So that's what I want. And I see right here, I'd have to cut into this, but that's okay. That's a solid. I don't think I have many in here that are like bigger chunks that would fit, the 8-inch length this way, but maybe. I also did sunflowers, so that caught my eye for a minute there. What have I got in here? No, none of those are quite big enough. I mean, I could use something like this and it would only take up part of it. It's actually not bad. Would that stripe look weird? It's not horrible. So I don't have a ton that's going to work without me having to really cut into it. It looks like, oh, wait. Maybe I spoke too soon. This is a 6x8 here. It's on the other side. Don't like that pattern as well. What if I cut this down and used this, because there's also blue in it. So imagine it kind of like that. I like it, but like, how will I journal? I'd have to put in a piece of white cardstock or something for journaling, because there's no way you'd really see, well, you could see it here, but you wouldn't see much of it here. It would blend in. But you know what? What the heck else am I going to use this for? It's kind of wild, this paper. My only other option really is to cut it into strips, and I don't really want to do that. So maybe I'll go with this one. I've cut down the paper, and I like it, but it's a matter of figuring out how to place the photo on here. So that's a lot of like blue on blue, but here I don't want to lose all the yellow. I'm wondering if I should cut this down actually. I liked it because it said finished August 21st and you could see that on there. But if I cut that off, it would be a lot narrower. Let's do it. Let's just do it. And we'll see what I think. Or even here where I could leave the date and go right to the edge of the book. Maybe that's the way to go. And actually, if I go to the top of the book here as well, I'm not losing anything from the title. There, that helps me cut down quite a bit. I'll get rid of that. Let's see what I think. I may have to trim this down a little bit more because I'm going pretty far in, almost to the staple there. It does fit, but it's pretty edge to edge. But if I did that, well, that definitely gives me more color in the background because this became narrower. So I will just play around with it and figure out how I want it placed on here. If I do it up here, that does mean I can journal down here though, directly on this if I want, because the yellow, it will show. If I do it on the blue, not so much, but the yellow might be okay. But then I also have to figure out what other embellishments I want. So actually, maybe I'll leave this like that just for a second. I will clean up my scraps so that I have more desk space, and then I'll grab out my bin of book stuff. I grabbed out my stuff that are book themed, or that is book themed. So I have all of these. These are kind of ephemera pieces and braid strips and things like that. I got all excited about this ticket one, and I forgot that I think it says, yeah, historical fiction, which this is not. It's actually nonfiction. So I will save that for something else. But I have all of these stickers. I don't need my cards, that I can go through here and pick out something that might be fitting for this. You would think in all this stuff I can find a little piece of something. And I'm actually going to take these out of here too so that I can spread them out and really give them a good look through. I think I've decided on placement at least of the photo. So I'm going to do that. I think I want it kind of up here overlapping these blues. I will lose this one that's kind of in the middle, but I'm okay with that. You'll see why in a minute. So I have that. Oh, I'm gonna have to trim off just a little. That wasn't perfectly cut there. When I cut this down, it was actually slightly larger than 6 by 8, which I didn't realize. It was about 8 1/4. So I cut off part of the top in order to make it fit, but I have this left. So that came from up here. Actually, I think it was like that. I'm going to use it, I think, and layer it down here to bring in some of that blue in the bottom. I really like how that looks. So if I just overlap like that. Oh yeah, look, it's a little bit too big there as well. So let's just trim that off, shall we? There we go. And now we have this. So that gets me started. And then I have room where I can overlap things. I can journal down here, all of that. So at least that gives me a place for a jump start here. And then, oh, I also have my stamps out, my 2 book stamps. So I could do something from these as well if I really wanted to. So I have lots of options. I just don't know what to use right now. I've decided I am going to stamp because I've got this happening and it's quite busy. I think I'm going to stamp this one that says loved listening to this, and I'm just going to do it on white. I've got a scratch piece here. I can do that and then cut it out, and I'm going to overlap it up top, like just a little bit, probably over here so I don't lose the title. Here it has the author's name, but you can see that here too. So I can kind of place it up there, and that gives me something for the top portion. Then I only have to worry about the bottom. I grabbed out my circle punches because I want to make sure that this is even. I don't trust myself to cut it by hand. So this was my 1 1/4 inch punch from EK Success. I've had it forever. So I'm just going to line it up. I don't mind that it has, or it's going to have a little bit of a white border around there. That looks pretty good to me. Yay. Close that up. And then this. Oh, I didn't get it quite even. Look at, there's more on this side. Guess what? I know I'm not keeping this TN forever, so I don't care. Maybe I'll just do it like that. And then actually maybe, because I have stars here, maybe I have a little yellow star that I could pull off and put up there too. When I went into my stash of stuff, I found these, and there is a yellow star on there. Now, that's a little bit bigger than what I thought I wanted, but I'm also just trying to use up some of my sticker sheets that I've had around forever, so I'm going to do it. And if I overlap kind of like A little more to the top like that. Higher up even. I kind of like that. There. Yeah, a little more to the top like that is good. Maybe even, Oh, it's not going to let me move it. I don't want to tear it. So it's going to stay where it is, but that's fine. So that helps bring some more yellow into the top part, which I like. And now I can figure out the bottom. I've done my journaling. I decided just to use that lighter yellow area, but I felt like I still needed something else down here. I actually found something I think that will work. It's in the lighter blues. It's quite a bit lighter than this, but hopefully I can still get away with it. But it actually says audiobook right there. So I think I might do that if I can get these open. And then maybe that's all I need. Where is it here? Audiobook. I just noticed this one says Kindle, and I actually have another book, which is actually, of the ones I'm behind, the very last one I read, I actually read it on the Kindle app because I read it as a digital book. Let's see if I kind of go right in the middle. Is that sort of centered? Oh, not bad. I gotta pull it up a little bit though. Yeah, I think it's still a little to the left, but I don't care. I think that that's close enough. Now let's just make sure again. Do I need to cut off a little bit, or can I squeeze this in here? Oh, it fits. All right, let's attach it then. Then I can start thinking about my next one once I have this finished. Just, oh. Got to move it up a little bit. There we go. Okay. And there we go. It is in the Traveler's Notebook. And here's another one finished for the books I read. Thanks for watching.